What is going on, guys? The 2020 NFL season was filled with a lot of, well, you guessed it, questionable officiating calls. Some of those calls affected the outcome of their games, while others may have had an effect on your fantasy football seasons. From obvious missed calls to tacky penalties, it was another rough year of NFL officiating, to say the least. Here are the 30 worst calls from the 2020 NFL season. Number 30, Steelers get away with blatant false start. Leading by 5 points with 2.5 minutes to go. The Pittsburgh Steelers needed just one more first down to essentially ice their Week 12 home game against the Baltimore Ravens. Facing a 3rd and 6 situation, Ben Roethlisberger lofted a dangerous pass to James Washington for their first down. But a quick look back at the replay prior to the catch, and you'll see that the refs missed the obvious false start, which should have made it 3rd and 11.
Play for the Ravens. They're going to bring pressure. Ben's going to put it up top, and it is. Is it held on to?
The Steelers would pick up 2 more first downs to melt the clock and escape with a 19-14 victory. Number 29, Genoris Jenkins flagged for his horse collar tackle. This happened in the New Orleans Saints Week 3 Sunday night tilt against the Green Bay Packers. Late in the first quarter, Saints cornerback Genoris Jenkins was flagged for a horse collar tackle on Packers running back Jamal Williams. The NBC commentary team and rules analyst Terry McCauley were completely baffled by the call too.
Let's take a look here. No, he doesn't. Chris, he doesn't get inside the...
It's not easy being an NFL defender, even when the clean tackles like this one are getting flagged. Number 28, James White ruled down. The New England Patriots were down 15 points to the Denver Broncos in their Week 6 clash at Gillette Stadium. Facing a 3rd and 3 situation early in the 3rd quarter, the Pats called a running play to James White, who clearly passed the first down marker. However, officials ruled him short. Surprisingly, Bill Belichick didn't challenge the spot. That allowed the Broncos to waste more precious time off the clock, and they held on for a tight 18-12 victory. Number 27, Anthony Jennings' blindside block. Patriots return man Gunnar Olszewski seemingly put the Patriots ahead of the Arizona Cardinals with a slick punt return touchdown. But Jennings was penalized for a blindside block. You be the judge.
Well, here is the block.
The Patriots went on to win the game anyway, so this questionable officiating call was forgotten about rather quickly. Number 26, Titans called for offside. The Tennessee Titans were trailing the Packers 19-0 in the 2nd quarter of their Week 16 showdown. The Titans desperately needed a big play, and they got it thanks to a field goal block, which led to a big return deep into Green Bay territory. But Tennessee was flagged for being offside in the play, even though replays showed that nobody was across the line of scrimmage.
Right here. Wow.
Number 25, Nick Allegretti's holding penalty. Clyde Edwards-Helaire seemingly scored on a 6-yard touchdown to put the Kansas City Chiefs ahead of the Buffalo Bills in their Week 6 showdown. But Chiefs offensive lineman Nick Allegretti was somehow flagged for holding on the play, which brought the touchdown back. On the next play, Patrick Mahomes found Travis Kelce in the end zone for 6, but that doesn't excuse the terrible call one play earlier. Number 24, Vince Williams called for roughing the passer. All these rules certainly don't make it easy on defenders when it comes to tackling the quarterback. Just ask Vince Williams, who was flagged for this extremely clean hit on Carson Wentz in the Steelers-Eagles Week 5 contest.
Carson Wentz, buying time, he hits him.
Number 23, this was called a fumble. The Eagles trailed the Dallas Cowboys by 13 with 4 minutes to go in their Week 16 clash. A loss would end Philly's dream at capturing the NFC East Division crown. With the ball inside the Dallas red zone, Jalen Hurts was tackled for a short gain when the ball came out. The Cowboys recovered it, and the officials ruled a fumble on the play. But replays showed that Hurts was clearly down, and everyone expected the call to be overturned following the booth review. Only it wasn't.
Replay on the big screen as he attempted to strip the ball from Jalen Hurts.
The Cowboys would go on to seal it with a touchdown just a few minutes later, keeping their playoff hopes alive while officially eliminating the Eagles from contention. Number 22, Josh Reynolds gave himself up, trailing the Seattle Seahawks by 11 points with 2.5 minutes to go in their Week 16 contest. The Los Angeles Rams were in hurry-up mode. Jared Goff found an open Josh Reynolds for the easy first down. The latter was untouched and quickly placed the ball on the ground, which should have technically been a fumble, but the officials claimed Reynolds gave himself up, which allowed LA to keep the football.
Here's a pass caught for a first down. He wasn't touched, and Seattle...
At least the Seahawks won, but really? Number 21, short of the marker. The Cleveland Browns were looking to put the Jacksonville Jaguars away in their Week 12 showdown, facing a 4th and inches situation with 5.5 minutes to go. The ball was handed to Kareem Hunt, who was ruled short of the first down. The officials called for a measurement. Somehow this was deemed short of the first down marker. What? Number 20, Steelers avoid obvious delay of game penalty. The aforementioned Steelers-Ravens Week 12 game had numerous officiating mistakes. None worse, however, than what happened at the end of the first half. With 26 seconds remaining in the second quarter, the Ravens were at the Steelers' goal line. They were stuffed on a running play, and with no timeouts left, they had to hurry. But the Steelers weren't making that possible. The Steelers' delay cost the Ravens precious time, and they were forced to throw a desperate pass as the clock expired. According to Terry McCauley, the Steelers should have been flagged for a delay of game, but the dirty tactic went unpenalized, and it cost the Ravens big time. Number 19, Lions get away with double holding. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like chokeholds are probably penalties. Don't ask the officials in the Lions-Bears Week 13 game. These guys missed 2 blatant holds in one play, including a full-on chokehold. Number 18, Cameron Hayward penalized for rushing the passer. Shame on Pittsburgh Steelers Pro Bowl defensive tackle Cameron Hayward for trying to sack Robert Griffin. Don't you know the rules? Touching a quarterback these days is basically illegal and almost always a penalty.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
Number 17, sacking the quarterback equals penalty. Okay, yes, we exaggerated sometimes when we say how you can't play defense or touch a quarterback anymore. But Matthew Judon of the Baltimore Ravens was actually flagged for roughing the passer, when all he did was cleanly sack Baker Mayfield. Number 16, short of the first down marker is a first down. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were trying to finish off their thrilling Week 15 comeback against the Atlanta Falcons, but running back Leonard Fournette appeared to be stopped just short of the first down marker. Surprisingly, the officials decided they had to review the play, and despite a lack of evidence, they respotted the ball and called for a measurement. Then, even though the ball was still visibly short of the stick, the refs gave the Bucs the first down anyway.
Down to 23 seconds left in the game. You see, again, yellow line's not official, but we're pretty good with it.
Should we be surprised that Tom Brady's team got a call like this? Number 15, Carson Wentz gets away with intentional grounding. Philadelphia quarterback Carson Wentz was forced to chase down a bad snap before further disaster struck. He managed to get away from Seattle defenders before heaving the ball out of bounds for what should have been an intentional grounding penalty. But the officials deemed no foul for intentional grounding, stating that he was outside of the pocket and that the ball went beyond the line of scrimmage. Can somebody tell us when this ball crossed the line of scrimmage?
To his own 35, now just trying to get rid of it and throwing it away.
Number 14, receiver push-off equals defensive PI. Few NFL wide receivers are as physical and prone to performing the push-off as Bucs star Mike Evans. The officials usually seem to let it go, which is one thing, but when a defender is flagged for taking a push-off from Evans, now that's a problem. Somehow Los Angeles Rams cornerback Jalen Ramsey was flagged for defensive pass interference on Mike Evans here, even though the Bucs wide receiver clearly pushed him. This should have actually been offensive pass interference. So the fact that Ramsey was flagged on the play just makes it twice as embarrassing.
He's going to break to the middle of the field and then come back underneath flat and be physical.
Number 13, John Brown breaks the plane, but no touchdown? Let's keep this one short and sweet. The officials decided that John Brown didn't completely cross the plane for a touchdown here against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Dick, oh my goodness. Does he control? What?
Worse yet, Sean McDermott challenged the call and the officials. Even after review, they upheld the no TD ruling. Yes, the Bills scored in the next play, but how can you possibly say he didn't break the plane? Number 12, Jamie Collins' ejection. Making contact with an official is an ejectable offense, but there ought to be some exceptions. Take the instance of Detroit Lions linebacker Jamie Collins, who inadvertently made contact with an official in the team's Week 1 game against the Bears. All Collins was trying to do was demonstrate to the official that Chicago running back David Montgomery lowered his helmet to make contact. So he grazed the official, big deal.
He ran into the official and made contact. He did it.
Number 11, when real pass interference isn't called pass interference. It's pretty frustrating when these phantom PI penalties are frequently called, while the most blatant ones are ignored. For example, can somebody please tell me how this isn't PI on the Cincinnati Bengals when Chase Claypool was actually interfered with?
3rd and 10. Pocket is beautiful for Ben. He loads up and fires. And look!
An inexcusable missed no call late in the game. That can't happen. Number 10, Cam Robinson's ejection. Remember what we said about needing to let some things go when it comes to inadvertent contact with an official. Same thing applies to Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman Cam Robinson during a Week 3 game against the Dolphins. Robinson was at the bottom of a pile. His vision was obstructed by an official's arm, and Robinson simply pushed it away so he could see. Big deal, right? Don't tell that to the refs, who actually ejected Robinson for it.
He's on the ground. He's the one laying on the ground. The officials, he's just pushing the officials.
Number 9, picking up the flag on blatant PI. After scoring a touchdown with just 28 seconds left, the Giants needed a 2-point conversion to force overtime against the Bucs in Week 8. Jones spotted an open Dion Lewis in the end zone, but he was interfered with by Antoine Winfield Jr. The officials rightfully threw a flag, only to pick it up after further decision.
Jones throwing for it, and it is knocked away.
Back there, Winfield clearly gets to the receiver.
No penalty, Bucs win. Number 8, Dre Kirkpatrick pushes CeeDee Lamb. No penalty. Ah, yes. Nothing like getting away with pushing a wide receiver to the ground right before you get an interception.
You see him right here at the line of scrimmage. He wins at the line. Gonna see him trying to run that out route, run that corner out. A lot of contract made it cut.
Good for Dre Kirkpatrick. Bad for CeeDee Lamb. Number 7, Chase Claypool penalized because defender falls down. Steelers rookie wide receiver Chase Claypool put up a whopping 4 touchdowns in the team's Week 5 victory over the Eagles. It was a historic day and all, but there was a minor blemish on the special outing for Claypool. More specifically, a horrendous phantom PI call against Claypool that nullified another touchdown. All because the Eagles defender fell down in his own.
Cornerback in the game, and wow.
Number 6, Cameron Brate draws penalty after he initiates helmet-to-helmet contact. The Giants were on the wrong side of several questionable calls in that aforementioned Week 8 game against the Bucs. Buccaneers tight end Cameron Brate caught a deep pass from Tom Brady and lowered his helmet to initiate contact with Isaac Yiadom. This should have been a penalty on Brate, but of course the refs wound up flagging Yiadom instead.
By the offensive player, I would love to just say, hey, Cam Brate, just keep on running.
Another reminder that it's basically illegal to play defense in the NFL these days. Number 5, Byron Jones flagged for pass interference. Good thing the Dolphins won this pivotal game. Otherwise, the officials could have very well ended their playoff hopes with this brutal PI call against Byron Jones.
Again, behind the defense, can't get there, but a flag.
That's a tough call in a critical situation.
That's not even PI in the first quarter, let alone late in a close game. Number 4, this is roughing the passer. Not going to say much here. We'll let the video do the talking. This was actually called roughing the passer, and no, the officials did not pick up the flag.
The passer penalty, which is an NFL high. Fatukasi was right there. I don't know how you call this.
Number 3, Tyreek Hill removes helmet on field of play. No penalty. In the fourth quarter of the Chiefs' Week 2 game against the Los Angeles Chargers, Patrick Mahomes found an open Tyreek Hill downfield for a touchdown. Hill celebrated by instantly removing his helmet, which should have been a penalty since it happened on the field of play.
Yes! And he's up and in! Bouncing off the ground for the touchdown.
The officials completely missed it, and the Chiefs are able to tie the game with a successful 2-point conversion. Had the officials flagged Hill, KC would have likely settled on the long extra point attempt. Number 2, officials grant Washington extra time. The Washington football team stunned everybody when they handed the undefeated Steelers their first loss of the season in Week 13. That was thanks in large part to a big-time officiating blunder. Alex Smith was sacked with 19 seconds to go in the second quarter. Washington was out of timeouts, and they had to hurry out the field goal team, but Smith cleverly ran to the sidelines with the football, which caused a delay. The officials stopped the clock, stating that the K-ball wasn't where they needed it to be, so they spotted the ball and put 8 seconds on the clock. Dustin Hopkins made the kick, and Washington went on to win 23-17. Afterwards, Terry McAulay noted that officials aren't supposed to stop the clock when the offensive team causes the delay. Don't tell it to this crew though. Number 1, early whistle cost Patriots a fumble. The Patriots got a much-needed sack on Patrick Mahomes in their Week 4 contest at Arrowhead Stadium. For a moment, it looked like the Pats had recovered a Mahomes fumble, but the officials, for whatever reason, blew the whistle early to nullify the fumble. Because of the whole forward progress thing, Belichick wasn't able to challenge the call, and New England was robbed of a potential game-changing turnover.
Well, the ball came out, and it ends up.
Let's see if we can hear the whistle.
There's just something about these Chiefs-Patriots games that bring out the worst in NFL officiating. Which do you think was the worst officiating call of the 2020 NFL season? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Subscribe to TPS. We post videos every single day. And like this video because it really helps us out. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.